All right, so we are starting a little conversation around discipleship, and we want to really talk through like what is a disciple and how does one become a disciple. And we are relaunching our discipleship huddles in a new way, a fresh way.
Yep.
And so we just want to talk about it so that people can catch kind of the heart behind what we're doing and why we're doing it and the changes we're making, all those things. So, I remember going to Kansas City with you for a conference, learning community. And the first day we were there, they were like, what is a disciple? We had to kind of talk about what is a disciple? And it feels like an easy question since we've been Christians and we think about the disciples and discipleship's a thing that churches do. But then we wrote down our answer and it wasn't that easy. Like it was less clear than I wanted it to be. And so you especially worked on that definition, like what is a disciple and how do we define it in our church, but really how do we help people embrace? So just like what is a disciple?
So it was a process of trying to come up with a short and sweet definition of what a disciple is. And I think the thing that we landed on was just looking at the life of Jesus and looking at his disciples who followed him. We were like, how do we imitate that?
Yeah.
And so we came up with a disciple, someone who follows Jesus, practices the ways of Jesus, and then teaches others to do the same.
Yeah.
Becoming a disciple of Jesus, it doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very intentional process.
Yeah.
It's a way of life.
Yeah.
It's very intentional. So we all are a disciple of something. We're all being discipled by someone or something.
Yeah.
And so the question really is like, what is that?
Yeah. Who or what are you following?
Is it Jesus, or is it the pursuit of happiness, the pursuit of wealth or success? What is shaping you? What are you chasing after? Because ultimately what you chase after or who or what you are following is what you will become. Yeah. And so what are we becoming?
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah, that's great. And so I think the question for us is how do we shape or how do we create space for a disciple, someone who wants to follow Jesus and practice his ways to learn, to grow. But this year we're really like reshaping it to really truly be like rooted in who we are as a church. And you've worked a lot on this to put things together. But just talk about like the nature of a discipleship huddle and how it helps us follow Jesus and practice the ways of Jesus.
Part of huddle will be just examining our own lives and, basically asking the question, am I really a follower of Jesus or am I more of a fan of Jesus? Right. Am I more of a admirer of Jesus? And so that's going to be part of huddle is like, let's look at our lives, guys. Let's look and see, are we fans of Jesus? Are we truly following
What's the
him?
evidence say, Like, what does it really say?
Another part that we really want to focus on is how to hear from God and how to respond to God. I think a lot of us really struggle because we feel like God is distant or we feel like God is like far away and we don't know how to hear from him. And
sometimes the opposite. It's like we think God is so massive and so like thunder and lightning that like unless it drops us to our knees or like blinds us like Paul on the road to Damascus, it couldn't have been God, you know?
I was just going to say that. Like, that's something we've been teaching here since we started this church was, hey, we believe God's speaking all the time. Through many different avenues, and that could be through scripture. It could be through a sermon.
You say your sermon.
Your sermon. It could be driving in the car and you just have this feeling come over you and you're like, oh, I think that's God speaking to me. Or maybe it's a conversation with a friend or hearing a worship song and something stands out to you. And I truly believe, and I've seen this with my own eyes over the years, is that if you follow the process, if you fully commit, if you really pour yourself into this, you will be transformed. You will be a different person. You will definitely be more like Jesus. Other people in your life will see a difference in you. Your spouse will see a difference in you. Your kids will see a difference in you. Your coworkers will be like, what is going on? Well, this person is becoming more like Jesus. So if you commit to the process, it can be very very transformational.
That's good. I'm excited about this process. We've been really passionate about huddles for years, and we've seen really good fruit come.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm most excited about this is that you have really done most of the development of this. But we as a team, we know our people. We know where you are at if you're in our church.
Yes.
Not always, we don't know everything, but this is what we feel like God has called us to as a church. And so we're really excited about what could come this year through this.
Yeah, I'm super pumped.
That's
It's going to
great.
be great.